Hey everybody, happy Labor Day. Anyways, yeah, it's Labor Day. It's not Sunday right now. Anyways, you're all at home anyways, aren't you? It's a holiday. I always thought it was funny when people ask, "Hey, is there anything open?" Labor Day. It's supposed to be a day off for people that work, and labor and that kind of thing. Um, I always found it funny, back in the day. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about old stuff here. I remember taking my money out of the bank, buying, going to the teller and not having a machine and stuff like that. Okay, I'll make it a little bit more modern. Going to the bank machine, taking money out of the bank for the weekend. That was it. That was our money for the weekend. And when you ran out, I don't know, you just didn't do anything, or you just mooched off somebody else, or you bought your beer. You had to get your beer at the beer store Friday night, Saturday night, and that's it. There was nothing open on Sunday. That was it. Nothing open on Sunday. The guy downtown Toronto, the furrier guy who used to get, you know, shut down by the cops because he was open. Yeah, you remember the guy. Maybe you don't. I don't know. But cheers. Happy September. It's Labor Day. Yes. Why am I? It's usually a Sunday show. Big travel day yesterday, Sunday. Coming back from Ottawa would keep the faith. Yeah, long drive. I did not want to get up early because we're up late and doing the late night food, and we don't. You play in bands and you usually load out and you go home, or we're old and we get tired. We just go to bed. This time we were at a nice casino. We hung out in the kitchen, and got the late night cook to. We finally got. Some of us did not get our order in. Sadly, some of us didn't get our order in, so we shared some food. Um, I think it was 12:45. The kitchen closed, and it was hard. It was hard negotiations and stuff. And anyways, cheers to the Hard Rock Casino, Cafe, Hotel, everything. Ottawa, Ontario. It was actually in Gloucester, or I don't know where it was. It was just south of Ottawa. It's funny if you live in Ottawa or the Ottawa area. A lot of the Ottawa stuff is outside of Ottawa. Like when you see the Senators play or go to a concert, it's in Canada, which is not really in downtown Ottawa. Or you go to the casino, which is just slightly south of Ottawa, which was a beautiful place. Special thanks to everybody who treated us well at the Hard Rock Casino, and it was just a fun time for the end of summer. Sorry, Alex Lifeson. Reason why I'm playing Time Stand Still, and I had to dial in that sound. It's not a sound that you hear too often, and he played it on a. He actually didn't play it on a Strat. He played it on a guitar by a company called Signature. Um, I've seen some interviews with him lately, and he hated the guitars. Sadly, they're Canadian-made guitars. He's a pretty big gearhead, Alex. Sorry, I had to get my coffee. Cheers. He's a pretty big gearhead, making his own gear, has his own guitars, lurks, amps. If you, as a segue to the Hard Rock Cafe, really a shrine to a lot of Canadian stuff there. As you know, Hard Rock has guitars up on the wall and that, and some great, they put guitars. They're not exact. Some of them might be the actual guitars, but some of them are like just something. They had a beautiful, a white 355 that was Alex's main guitar through a good chunk of the Rush career. He brought it back as a signature model for Gibson. A lot of those around the radios, Hughes Kentner big radios that they put in the back line. Those were there. Geddy Lee's basses. I think they were Geddy Lee's basses. They look like Geddy Lee's basses. I think Geddy keeps his basses at home. But yeah, very cool. But Alex turning 72 this week on August 27th. Huge career. Um, you know, I don't think he got the accolades he should have back in the day as a guitar player. And I think that was because he was in the shadow of a lot of amazing players. One of them being Rick Emmett from Triumph, who ran the gamut of styles and was more of a maybe more of a rock guy, shredder guy. Alex was always the ever changing world of Rush, but back in the day when he had the long blonde hair and that, I mean, he was thrashing away. And Alex is known more. I think Alex should be known more as a songwriter and textural and just a person that could roll with the changes of that band and how the band changed. Case in point, this he was a Gibson guy. First album, 335s, 355s, Les Paul. He played. I talked about that when he played the Les Paul on All the World's a Stage. Went back to Les Paul's, was Gibson's for a while. Then all of a sudden in the 80s, switched to Strats. That's why he had the sound. Now, the signature guitar that I talked about earlier, which he hated, had this certain pickup in it that it had that sound, that that really nice Stratty. Killer. Killer Strat. And he actually took that pickup. He didn't like the guitar. He took the pickup out of that guitar and stuck it in a PRS model with a single coil, and that pickup is flipped around a bunch of different guitars, I believe. If you're Alex Rush musicologist type person, which I know those guys are out there. But yeah, so that was the guitar sound. Yeah, he had the Stratty sound in the 80s. He started the Strats, moving pictures actually in Limelight, and then I think Signals, lots of Strats and Signals, and then when I went to see him play on the Signals tour, it was all Stratocasters, and I went to the Signals tour, and that was the only time I saw Rush in the early days. I was too young to see them in Farewell to Kings tour and all that kind of thing, but I went to Signals, and then my two favorite songs by Rush were Xanadu, because of the double necks, of course, and La Villa Strangiato. Little side note, my son's moving today. I'm going down to help him, and he's moving to Danforth and Pape. Only you Rush fans will understand why I brought that up. Anyhow, and those two songs, La Villa and Xanadu, I was just rabid to see the double neck come out, and then they did this medley of their older songs in the middle, and all of a sudden they flipped into one part of Xanadu, and they played part of La Villa in there too, and I go, damn, they're not going to play those songs. It was all Strats, yes. So all you Alex fans out there, yes, the Strats live on. And then back, came full circle, and Counterparts album and that, and he went back to Gibsons and Marshalls and always different amps. Then really nice one of his D Markleys at Hard Rock in Ottawa too, which was very kind of cool, very cool, very cool. Huge influence on my playing. He was also influenced by Steve Howe, as Steve Howe influenced Rick Emmett, and the three of them, again, I've mentioned this before, Steve Howe, Rick Emmett, and Alex Lifeson all looked the same at one point in the set. One golden point for the Golden Boys with their blonde hair in the 70s. They all look the same. I should post 3 of those pictures. Yeah, I should. And they all played white Gibson double EDS 1275 double necks. All 3 of them had those because of Steve Howe. Because if they were really huge Jimmy Page, they were all Jimmy Page fans too. Alex did have the cherry red Jimmy Page style double neck as well, but apparently it got damaged somehow. Then he switched to the white one. Does anybody care about this Guitar Geek stuff? I hope so. I sure do. Anyhow, changing gears, how was your summer? Tell me how your summer was, because I had a great summer. Angela and I, we were discussing this last night after we got home from our hellacious Ontario drive. By the way, Ontario drivers, can you take it easy, okay? two-lane highway. Two-lane highway. One lane's a passing lane. The other lane is your cruising lane. I've seen people where there's 10,000 miles in front of them empty, and they move over and they drive in the passing lane. Why do you do this? Do you not understand? I don't know. Are you too lazy to move over when people are merging? That keeps you awake, by the way, all that movement and stuff like that. It keeps you alert. Keep that out instead of watching your phone. I saw a lot of phone watchers out there. That's terrible. Don't do this. Don't do this. I mean, I should talk. I got a big screen in my new truck, but yeah, not a big screen TV. Just one of those screens where you play with. Anyways, but yeah, don't do that. Terrible. Bad drive home. Bad drive home from Ottawa. And bad drive to Ottawa, actually. Because I think because it was a Labor Day weekend, a lot of the students were driving in, moving in to Kingston, McGill, Montreal, Ottawa, and I guess Kingston are all the college areas down the east end of Toronto, so east side of Toronto. Anyways, enough about my yakking about my painful drive, but we got home and we thought, man, has it ever been a great summer. Out with Keep the Faith. In July alone, the band played to already 19,000 people on our outside of summer festivals. Some great notes. Canada Day for Q107. C&E was a great show. Other ones to mention: Newmarket, the town Newmarket, and Ajax Newmarket. Quite a few more that I can't remember. Harbourfront, Fun Philippines Festival at Harbourfront, and then of course we culminated in our last gig of the summer, which is what ended up not being an outdoor gig. Everything else was an outdoor gig. A little bit of rain in two of the shows, didn't harm the show at all. Everything else was blazing hot and sunshine. But special thanks to everybody in the Keep the Faith. Oh man, I can't even speak. Actually, someone introduced us as Keeping the Faith. Yeah, Ajax. Yeah, but I'm gonna start again. Special thanks to everybody in the entourage world of Keep the Faith. Families, band members, families, people, friends, everybody, fans, incredible fan base that comes out to see us. And also a big shout out to all the production people that helped us all summer long, all the buyers, all the managers, and especially at Hard Rock, what a beautiful place. If you're in the Ottawa area, go to the Hard Rock Cafe, even if you don't gamble, and none of us gamble. We just walked through the machines and up to the stage. But it was great. It was great. It was a great time, great food, great time, great hotel. Definitely 5-star hotel. And anyways, that's it. We now start a bunch of theater shows. Bridge on Fire will be out and about Pierside on September 14th, Sunday, September 14th, if you're in that area. Our next Keep the Faith gig is starting our theaters in Midland the night before on September 13th. Yes, I'm going to be a tired guy that weekend. Say something in the comments about the summer, how it was, what was your favorite live show of the summer in the comments, please. Tell me. One word. I know a lot of people watch the show. One word. Oasis. I don't know, Hailstorm. Any show you saw. Metallica. Anyhow, Metallica wasn't in the summer. For us, anyways, up here. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Enjoy Labor Day. Sorry, kids, you're back to school tomorrow. Yes, looking forward to seeing all my students on Wednesday. We're going to start on Wednesday. We need an extra day this summer. I'm going to start on Wednesday, see the students soon. Get ready to play a lot of guitar for my students. Take it easy. Bye-bye.